It's Sunday, the 12th of July, 2026. Okay, so we're on the farm now. We're in Dorchester. Uh, Dad's got a super big house. Uh, there's 8 kids at the time. There's going to be one more born soon. So we're talking about gifts and abilities. So I was born with the ability to talk to ghosts. Didn't know about it and found out as I was growing up that they were ghosts. Now, on this farm, there isn't too many ghosts. In fact, there isn't any around me at all. And I find that I figured out that I have to be around the place where they died in order to have contact with them. But I'm a child. I'm in no hurry to get contact with these ghosts. At school, there's a few of them, and I know the difference between the real people and the ghosts now. So let's go with how did these abilities come? I was born with it because it came from my mother, skipped my father from my grandmother. And do you get more abilities as you grow up? Well, you can if you work at it and everything, but I'm a child. I don't know nothing about this. But what I did learn is if you die by accident and you get brought back, you get a lot more gifts. And this is the story from the beginning where I did my first video where I'll tell you what happened and what gifts I got. Okay, so my brother and I, or maybe I'm 10 and he's 7, we're playing with a gun. That's not right. We're on a farm, dad uses them to, shoot the fox or whatever animals come around that are trying to get his chickens or his sheep or his goats or his cows or the animals that are already on the farm that are supposed to be here. So he would use that to get rid of them. Plus, he liked hunting rabbits. But anyway, we were there. We were playing with the gun, and it accidentally went off. It wasn't my brother's fault. It wasn't my fault, but it got me in the head. And like a moron that I am, I thought it bounced off my head and I would be okay. That's not the case. So I came into the house, started in the basement, then came up to the second floor, and I went in the washroom. I turned the hot water on. I was bleeding like crazy. Oh, I think one of my little brothers were with me. So not the one that shot me, he's the one behind me. It would be the second one, which he would have been about 5 approximately. Anyway, so I thought that it was an angel because at this time I probably was losing consciousness. And so I got in the tub of the hot water and I didn't even know he was with me because I thought I locked the door and I was alone because I didn't want anybody to know because we would have gotten a lot of trouble for, first of all, playing with the gun. We're not allowed to. And, you know, I didn't want to get a spanking or anything or the belt or whatever punishment my father was using at the time. He was a person that would punish you if you did something bad. My mother was the nurturing one who did something good, which I totally agree with too. But anyway, so uh, somehow the door opened to the washroom, which I locked, and I found out it was my little brother because he said it was. And I thought it was an angel, but I find out later in life that people can be corporeal angels and they can be that person that saves you too. But at this time, I was unconscious almost, very delirious. And my uncle picked me up in his arms and put me in the car, brought me to the hospital. My mom came with us. And I'm in the hospital room. And this is, I think, where the abilities came. And, my mom's in the hospital room. I can still see a little bit. And then all of a sudden, a light comes. I pull out of my body this is the first time this has ever happened. And I start floating around the room. And then this entity comes. I'm pretty sure it's God because he tells me he's God. And he goes, what are you doing? This is what God said to me. What are you doing? I said, I'm floating around this room. It seems really, really cool. I really like it. And he goes, well, it's nice, isn't it? It's really good to float around the room and have fun and go wherever you want. But you can't do that because, you got things you got to do in life. And I go to God, I go, man, I'm only 10 years old. What am I going to do? And God goes to me, he goes, I've got plans for you. And I said, okay. And then I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going back. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm still floating around. This is so much fun. But he goes, look what's happening. I look down, and I'm see my body, and then I see my mom crying like crazy, and yelling and screaming. And then I see everybody trying to attack her or push her out or something. And I go, oh shit, that's my mother. I go, God, excuse me 1 minute. I gotta go save my mom because they're and God goes, he says, you know what? Go save your mom. Go save your mom. That's a good thing to do. Go save your mom. So all of a sudden these big things are on my chest. Bang! I'm back in my body. And my mom, she was not crying no more. That was good. So get out of the hospital. They kept me a couple days. And then I started to notice different things. These are the gifts I was given after I died and came back. And I'm like, what is this? I didn't quite understand it. And the first time I understood it, I was in the barn feeding the cows. And we had this ornery bull. It was a bull that's really mean. But Dad liked him a lot because of his colors and he was really big and he'd make good calves. But he was really mean. You couldn't get in the pen with him or anything. He would attack. But sometimes, a bale of hay will fall on the other side, and I'll have to go in. But I'll wait till he's on the other side. It'll take time for him to come to me, and I'm pretty fast. So again, one of the bales fell, and I went to go get it, and then I fell, and by that time he was on me, and I just thought in my mind because I had a dog, and it's a German Shepherd. She's really nice. And I thought in my mind, come to me, like, come to me, come to me. I need your help. Come to me. I didn't know where she was, but I just said, oh my God, I'm going to die. This thing is on me. And it's coming full force. I'm like, I close my eyes. All of a sudden, I hear my dog, boom. She jumps on his head, and she's like 120 pounds. She's a big dog. The bull goes down. I go, wow, I'm saved. I am saved. I am saved. Still didn't quite realize this gift. Started to think about it. And then some of the other animals and stuff like that, I I could communicate a little bit with them. It wasn't like Dr. Doolittle or anything like that. I hope I can say that. But anyway, I could communicate a little bit. And so I just used it for fun. But one time we were going to the store in the town, like we're in Dorchester, and there's this little store that's about 3 or 4 kilometers away, so it's a pretty long walk. And there's this little street, and I got, I think, 3 or 4 of my brothers with me, plus myself. I think there was 5 of us. We're all just taking a little walk to the store and get candy. And then on the way back, almost 10 or 15 dogs all started barking and trying to get us. So I said, oh no, I can't have any of my brothers and sisters get hurt. So I put my arms up in the air and I thought about all the dogs barking at us and yelling and trying to hurt us. And I said, sleep, sleep. And they all went to sleep. I didn't count how many there were, but there was over 10. And then we walked home. My dad says, "What happened? You guys were for a very long time." I told him about what the dogs did, this and that, and I wanted to make sure they were all sleeping before we proceeded, so that way we wouldn't get hurt. He said, "What did you do?" I said, "I put all the dogs to sleep." So all of a sudden, I don't know about after I was talking to my dad about this, some of the neighbors from that street, the owners of the dogs, started knocking on the door. He said to them, he goes, "Whatever your son did, can he come back and undo it? All the dogs are not getting up. They're not dead, but they're not going to get up. They're not getting up." And my dad said, "Yeah, you got to go back and undo whatever you did." So I went back down that street and I did the same energy and I said, "Awake." And they woke up. Yeah, I had a little bit of a gift with that. And also, another gift that came with this part was not just the animals. I could sort of see the future, which not always good, which I don't always like. But that's enough for this story because I only want to do 10 minutes, and I'll continue this later. It's Birdie. Thank you. Bye.